So another WWE pay-per-view. And you know, I actually liked this one. Did Vince sell his soul to the devil? Nah, you can't sell your soul to yourself.
Here we go! Mucha lucha, mucha lucha. Mucha lucha, mucha lucha. Ricochet, el rey, the flea on the rest, take it all the way.
Here for the Royal Rumble 2016, I am your host, Jay Beard Stereo. We're gonna start with the pre-show, but we're not gonna do like promos and stuff like that because I don't want to do that. The only one who knows how to speak there is Renee Young, and I'm good. So it's JBL Saxton and Cole on commentary, and already not looking good. If there's a single complaint that most people have in common, it's most likely that the commentary is the most appalling thing. You have JBL yelling Maggle every 5 minutes, you have Maggle being Maggle every 5 minutes, and you have Saxton who nobody wants there, including the commentators. We get into our only pre-show match, and it's a fatal 4-way tag match featuring the Dudley Boys, Swagger and Mark Henry, Darren Young and Sandow, and the Ascension. Were the fucking Bushwhackers not around? On a positive note, it's good to see Sandow. I really love the guy. He's been in since I think it was 2004. Give the kid his fucking push already. It's really cool to see him get a good reaction too, because, you know, somebody has to give it to him. Creative. And we go into a commercial at one point during this match, because, you know, it's the pre-show, and they're, you know, doing the non-important part of wrestling. So, while they're wrestling, we cut to a commercial, we come back, and it's Swagger versus Victor. I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say this, but you should have stuck to the commercial. Moving on to Victor, because I do want to talk about this. Victor and Connor, there was a sign, I'll get to signs later, because instead of like little trivia facts, I want to include best signs of the night. Connor and Victor, they honestly deserve better treatment. They are a great throwback, they are a great Demolition-style tag team, which Demolition was a great Legion of Doom style tag team, so I guess what I'm trying to say is they're a good knockoff of the Legion of Doom. If NXT and the main roster actually worked together, and it worked from here to here, they would be the longest reigning tag team champions right now. They'd be making bank, they'd look like a threat, and other people around them would look like they're actually fighting towards something. Not losing to New Day all the time, who, I love New Day, but they're not exactly the biggest threat. It's negligence. It really is. They could be something. They're not phenomenal. You know, they're pretty plain in the ring, let's be honest. But they're brutes, and we need that impact style. We don't need a bunch of luchadors flying around. We don't need a bunch of technical Jesuses. We need a variety. And these guys offer the best chance at a brute superstar tag team. Something we'll never fucking see again. There's a little moment here, I don't know who botched it. Connor is... He gets in the ring and he just stares at Devon as in like, hit me. You're supposed to stop me from breaking up the pin. And they just stare at each other. It's just... Oh, okay, now. The match was okay. The match wasn't great. There wasn't any major spots or anything that I really felt like I needed to review or bring up. It was okay. I do feel like the fact that you had Swagger... I feel like the fact that you had Swagger and Henry be the two that win, that's weird. I mean, first of all, on one hand, it's... What? The two singles competitors won to get into a singles Royal Rumble match? No! But then on the other hand, it's just... Why would you bury the Ascension, the Dudley Boys? That cannot look good on them. They lost to two singles people thrown together, one of which barely gets TV time, Mark Henry. Actually, they both barely get TV time. Mark Henry hasn't been a threat since the Hall of Pain, and Swagger never. Tag teams should win tag team matches. It's not fucking rocket science. If you have two of the top in a power trip versus a tag team, then maybe. But in no way, shape, or form does Swagger and Henry equal The Ascension, longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions, yeah, fuck them, they lose to them. The Dudley Boys, one of, if not the greatest tag team that ever lived, yeah, fuck those guys. Are you high? Now, moving on to the main show, we have a moment where the McMahons get out of the limo because that's just a shot forever now. Even if we know they're supposed to show up for the show, which originally those are, oh, who's coming up? Now they're just, oh, McMahon's here. What's the point? It's a nice shot, I guess. Barely. Is it really that much of a tradition that we need to continue this, especially when it doesn't fit? They put this before the graphic. They showed up before the graphic for the beginning of the pay-per-view to be played. Move on to something enjoyable. Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens in a last man standing match for the IC title. This match was really good. Like, really good. I got some problems. I don't dislike Ambrose. I just feel like he needs more, if that makes any sense. He's got his attire, he's got his moveset, he's got everything, it all clicks together. But there's something about him that's just kind of boring to me. How can I word this? It's as if the Joker stopped being the Joker and started trying to be the Joker. So basically Jared Leto. I'd give this... One second. Yeah, I'd give this match of the night. We had some beautiful spots, some beautiful psychology. Kevin Owens, you are a hero. This is why I bought your shirt. You are a hero, my good sir. You sold... we'll get to that in good time, but just know, you are a hero to wrestling. Most of the time it was good, stiff, brawling style. Then, Owens is outside the ring, and Ambrose just does a suicide dive through the top and middle rope. And Owens just gets taken over the announce table, taking out Michael Cole, who, if you know, if you're watching this, you know, they have basically like a mini feud going on between the two of them. And just seeing Kevin Owens just... Michael's face as he's lying under him, just, help me, you son of a bitch. Kevin Owens just manages to go out and prove anyone who has anything negative to say about him wrong. Which is funny, because I still see people doing that, in which case, what are you watching? Like, how do you look at Nikki Bella? No offense, she's gotten a lot better. But how do you look at Nikki Bella and go, it's the face of wrestling, I love that woman. And you look at Kevin Owens and you go, nah. This was a very, very hardcore match. Beautiful kendo shots. Got one close to the head. I feel like I legitimately saw them trying to bring back the Attitude Era style of not giving a shit. Maybe it's calculated that good, that well, that it appears to be on the fly, but a lot of what they did... I mean, there were spots, like the table spot seemed planned. Probably the suicide dive was planned. But that being said, none of it felt like step by step. It all felt natural. It all felt really well done. It all felt like it happened as it happened, is my main point. After Ambrose goes kendo crazy on Kevin, he does this move. Kevin Owens usually does this move where it's a cannonball senton into the corner. He took it outside the ring and placed it right up against the barricade on the outside and wiped the barricade out. Two things with that. One, doesn't that kind of mean your weight broke the barricade? And two, that spot was fucking amazing. When you talk about car crashes through the barricade, those spear ones, the first few looked good. They're starting to look old hat. They're starting to look like you know how to do it. So when I see different ones, different spots that break the barricade, especially one as creative as this, I mark the fuck out. It was a little weird to see the next match already had another barricade set up. Are we really to that point now? Okay. This is a kendo stick. These are really frickin' stiff. They're made of bamboo. When you break them, they splinter. Owens takes the kendo stick, snaps it, takes both halves, folds it over, and uses the splintered side to start jabbing Dean in the stomach. It's unique, fun, clever things that make people like me who are wrestling fans for years. I've been a wrestling fan since I'm 4 years old. I'm 23 years old now. I'm getting on 20 years of wrestling here. You need to do things like this to get us back into why we loved it in the first place. Owens and Ambrose in this match feel like they're, not purposely, but just feel like they're trying to recreate the Attitude Era. And not just trying, succeeding. We've had plenty of hardcore matches, plenty of last man standing matches, where it's just bleh. It's just moves. It doesn't look like it's... There doesn't feel like there's hatred between the men. They're running the steps, so to speak. This didn't feel like that at all. Owens' reverse back body drop through the two sitting chairs facing each other was it brought such a level of indie to this pay-per-view that I loved it. That spot always looks so bad. It always looks so painful. I really love the image of those chairs that are meant to hold a human body, that are meant to hold weight, collapsing under human weight. There's something just powerful and gross almost about it. I thought Owens got up a little quick for my liking. And this will be later on, but he actually does such a good job at selling that when he doesn't sell properly, it's weird to me. What I'm really trying to say there is I just feel like he actually sold it a bit more. Had the momentum continue, don't have the high spot of the chairs be the point where the momentum switches, because that just doesn't make sense. Sell that, have a couple more moves done to you, then, well, lesser moves, obviously, and then come back, right? I feel like there's psychology there, not up. When Owen goes to set the two tables up, I swear to God, my favorite moment of any pay-per-view in the past year, you just hear a fan off camera just yell, "I feel like you're wasting your time!" And we also had a great misdirect. We're about halfway through the match. Kevin Owens actually sets up these two tables. And they tease a spot, the match continues, then Owens, once you've had enough time to semi-forget about those, Owens sets up the chairs, multiple this time, in almost like a table-like pattern. And when he goes up, reversal into the two tables, match over. Obviously, Dean Ambrose retains, and we move on, hopefully with these two. I feel like we can get a little more out of this one. I didn't like this feud at first, and then this match actually kind of, I guess, revitalized it. I really, really hope we continue with this, and stick with stipulation matches. Something about Dean... once again, no offense to Dean. I love Dean Ambrose. I feel like his forte is hardcore. CZW, it makes sense. When he's in a regular match, I just feel like he slightly loses some of his... Can't believe I'm about to say this. Appeal. Moving on to the next match, we have the New Day versus the Usos for the tag team titles. Now, I could be wrong. It might just be the heavyweight title, but I noticed all the champs, most of the champs, came out first. I know it's mainly heavyweight, but isn't that slightly disrespectful? I feel like the champ should headline. It's just kind of a no-brainer, I feel like, but New Day came out first, Dean Ambrose came out first, Alberto came out first, the only... Reigns came out first. The only person who didn't come out first, weirdly enough, was Charlotte. Which I guess that says something about how they're treating Charlotte. She gets the main event seat, basically. She gets to come out as the heavyweight final champ. The Usos, it might be some of that ring rust, although they shouldn't still have it. One of them shouldn't still have it. I don't know what it is. They seemed a little sluggish. They seemed a little sloppy. They felt... Okay, when you see a high flyer fly, I don't feel like you should feel them slogging their weight around, carrying a heavy load, basically. And that's not a knock on the Usos. I'm not calling them fat or anything. That being said, they seemed it. They didn't look it. They aren't. They're in great shape. They're wrestlers. But they seemed sluggish and slow and kind of chunky. And they're not. I don't know if I like that. Xavier Woods. Anyone who's been saying Xavier Woods is the weak link as far as wrestling, go watch this match. He pulls a spinning DDT off of the friggin' barricade on the outside of the ring, up and around, and just Kofi, once again, being Spot Master General, super kick, blocks the super kick by putting his leg over the super kick leg, dropping down, and turning that into a leg lock. Remind me why you never got pushed. You're a fucking wizard. Biggie, I love you. You're the man. You're my rock. You're my savior. You're my Jesus. You're my Messiah. You are my unicorn bro. you tripped in a match. And you tried to play it off like a pin. At least you tried to play it off like a pin. I'll give you the credit there. Next time, maybe just roll out of the ring and go screw around with Xavier Woods or something. Then they hit one of the best spots. One of the best spots of the night, if not the best spot. Big E slides in as Uso is going for the splash. Awesome fake-outs, by the way. Multiple fake-outs. Thought that was awesome. Had no idea who was winning this. I got upset multiple times because I thought Usos were taking it. Big E, as the Uso splashes in effect, midair, Big E slides in, catches him, in big ending position, hits the big ending. 1, 2, 3. I hate the word, but perfect finish. Literally a perfect finish. New Day obviously retains the titles. Also, shout out to Francesca, too. Alberto Del Rio, the current champion, versus Kalisto for the U.S. title. Keeping tonight's tradition of disrespecting champions alive. Del Rio comes out first, Kalisto comes out second. Del Rio hits the move where he grabs the rope, and he does the jump kick. He grabs the rope, he does a jump kick to Kalisto, and that's when I realized that his kicks are missiles. When they don't connect, they look retarded, like the Sheamus above his head moment, the infamous one. But when they hit, ow! Kalisto does a Hurricane Rana, and midway, when his body's straight, coming from here, legs wrap around, coming straight, he just sinks down and hits the most McNasty looking facebuster. Oh no, it was a code breaker. It just hit me. He hits the most nasty code breaker I have ever seen in my life. It's the way his knees go in for the code breaker, and it just doesn't look even, and it's just a E. Shit. They kind of mentioned it on commentary, mostly didn't, but Kalisto got that kick, that you're on your knees, and Kalisto's on his knees, and Del Rio does that super kick. The one that beat Cena for the title, Kalisto kicked out. Kalisto kicked out of a move John Cena didn't. We're gonna die. I really didn't like this match. Overall, I actually think this match was probably the most sloppy of the night. I think these two honestly just don't work that well together. I liked the idea of them previously having Kalisto win almost like a Chris Jericho moment. I thought that was nice when Chris Jericho pinned Triple H back in the 2000. I feel like that was this kind of thing that they did on Raw, and then he got it back on SmackDown, and then it worked into this. I feel like that was that moment, and the reason he got it tonight was because of that and the reaction he got. That makes any sense. We have a new United States champion, Kalisto. We have Becky Lynch and Charlotte for the Divas title. There's no Bellas, there's no annoying people, there's no non-wrestlers to bog us down anymore. We have Charlotte in the main event, we have Paige, we have Becky Lynch, we have Sasha Banks. Wink, wink. Can you wink? Can you even wink in a Lucha's mask? This wasn't one of the best matches, granted. It wasn't one of the worst, though. It was a good, solid Divas match that took a lot of time on the card, good for you, and did what it needed to do, good for you. The thing that I wrote right here, Flair just kissed Becky Lynch. ... She better fucking go over. I love that on commentary they even have a throw out. Hey, he said he was kiss stealing. That makes it okay. So I can just walk out and just go, I'm a murderer, and then when I kill someone, it's cool, I told you. No, that's still fucked up. Becky Lynch is just the fucking best with her suplexes. There is no diva on this planet that suplexes people into outer space better than Becky fucking Lynch. See, the power behind her suplexes is what really gives them some weight. Once again, I mentioned it before, it's not weight as in weight. It's weight as in just oomph, power. The top rope transition into her finisher, the armbar, was amazing. Amazing. Please keep doing that. Because when you're at the top rope, you don't have to throw your body away. You can use other moves like submissions and just wear them down off the top. And that's realistic. That happens. Towards the end and the finish was a little sloppy, if I'm being honest. I think that might be due to Rick. His timing might be off, so I think that might have screwed some things up. Also, seeing Becky Lynch sell Ric Flair's coat like it was a villain net, like, yeah! And then Charlotte retains. And then the actual moment of the night for me was probably the idea of this. Sasha comes out, sets up for what we can assume is going to go to Mania, and potentially have Sasha Banks win the title. The idea of Banks and Charlotte at Mania makes up for all the bullcrap I had to sit through. If this is happening, someone brought up to me, shout out to Running Dog, he brought it to my attention, it'd be really interesting to see if that wasn't just necessarily a Sasha Banks match, but if it was Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, and Paige. Granted, Paige is out with a minor concussion. I just have to also shout out to Charlotte. Nobody takes the Banks statement. Nobody like Charlotte fucking Flair. She gets the she gets the backstabber portion in, and she hits that like everyone else. But when she flips it over and she gets that crossface in, the arc Charlotte always puts on that is just cool. And I also have to mention, canceling out the shout out I just gave to you, Charlotte, you no-sold her Banks statement. It's a submission, I get it, it still wears you down. You shouldn't have instantaneously got up from the Banks statement, something that will probably beat you for the title later, and continue to yell at the camera. I mean, that's the thing, is it was even just to yell at the camera. You know, it just... having her kind of on the ground, maybe grabbing the ropes with an angry expression, that would have easily done what you wanted to do. But now we're in the Royal Rumble match for the WWE Heavyweight title. From line 1, I called it. I could prove it to you. It's written down right here. From line 1, Reigns is winning. That or Triple H walks out champion. From line 1. I'm not mad. It's not a when Triple H comes out at number 30, he's not getting a Rey Mysterio boo for the whole Daniel Bryan situation. He's not getting that. Because the matches we got tonight were great. They were asterisk. The matches we got tonight were acceptable. Some of which were great. And it just shows you that the ending being not what you wanted doesn't destroy a whole card. The whole Daniel Bryan situation, it wasn't just Daniel Bryan, it was the whole card was just disgusting. Maybe one match a night for these pay-per-views have been really a draw, or really appealing for fans like me to actually watch. You've had Big Show main events and stair matches, or not main events, you had Big Show and stair matches, you've had Kane and Big Show kill the Rumble. You've had so many moments. You've had so many moments that I've almost stopped caring about stuff like this. Not tonight. You can still do it. This shows that you can still do it. Number 1, Roman Reigns, obviously. Number 2 was Rusev. Number 3, the bell starts, this church bell thing starts ringing, and we get like a DMX song, and I'm questioning who the fuck it is. AJ Styles works for WWE now. Excuse me while I scream like a little girl. Reigns, when Styles gets in, he tries to clean house, and this is a major problem I have. Pretty much everybody no-sells Styles. The whole match, I just see Styles kind of just walking around the ring, doing not much of anything. He teases the Styles Clash like 3 or 4 times, doesn't hit it once, obviously. Don't get me wrong, I love the idea and you need surprise entrance, but have him do something. Am I wrong? Have him eliminate somebody that matters. You should give him more if he's going to debut here. Because if I'm being honest, his debut was rather weak. It's 7 people in, and AJ hasn't done anything, and I even wrote it down. He needs a moment. He needs something. I mean, him just showing up is great. It's awesome. But that being said, and? The old saying is, yes, and. He's here. Yes, and? Kofi saves himself, like he does in every Rumble. But in this one, I'm not gonna lie, kinda cheap. Actually, really cheap. He gets, like, thrown out like a flip, and he lands ass on Big E's shoulders, and Big E just kinda parties him around the ring, which is a great spot, I love it. But I was hoping it didn't count as his save. How many saves can you do? I get the complaint. That being said, think of one. I just feel like you should do it, not Big E. Big E was there to work his way under you and catch you. That's Big E saving you, not you saving you. And you've come so far with you saving you. Why focus on Reigns? I know the entire Rumble is based on 1 versus all, which, as we've already discussed, doesn't happen. And we'll discuss that more later, because not only do they do what I just said and have Reigns have help within the Rumble, they have Reigns out of the Rumble for a nice chunk of time. Like, a nice chunk of time. But when he's injured to leave for that nice chunk of time, he's outside, he's wiggling around, he's, oh, I'm hurt, blah, 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 this is the best selling you're gonna see out of me in years, blah, blah, blah. That's happening, and the camera's focused entirely on that. And people are getting eliminated in the ring. You have people who are working their ass off. AJ probably did something in that time. And guess what? I didn't get to see it because Roman Reigns. Now, if this is the guy that you know people dislike, you know there's a mixed reaction. Why would you do that? I don't get it. Because that's just going to give people more reason to say you are shoving him down our throats, because you literally are. Unlike last year's Rumble, there were absolutely points where people came out and set up storylines. That's what I wanted. That's why this pay-per-view is a success. Good job, guys. You did it. That being said, you're nowhere near Pat Patterson level. Reigns laying down is not more interesting than action in the ring, despite that being the story of, ooh, he's hurt, even though he's going to come out and run train on everybody later. That doesn't fly. You focus on the people in the ring. You get a shot. You know what? You probably could have had a shot of both. You probably could have had a shot of from the corner here. You get a bunch of people in that corner of the ring. You get a nice chunk of the ring, and you can get a downward shot of Reigns. Why don't you try something new like that? A new camera angle. Just work this shit out a little better in practice. Kevin fucking Owens. Kevin Owens comes out limping due to the table spot. And that's a whole fucking card later! You are the selling king! Well, Prince. Ziggler still exists. Dean Ambrose comes out, and he runs, basically, to the ring and continues the feud. What did Owens just do? You won. You should be less in pain, but you gotta sell still. You were in a friggin' match. Surprise number 2. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn enters the Royal Rumble, eliminates Kevin Owens. Continuing their story, which was great. Didn't expect to see Sami, didn't expect to see that trickle up to the main roster. That doesn't work. The main roster, you're assuming they watch NXT, so that point that you just had there contradicts everything you're trying to say about you focusing on casual fan base. To have Sami Zayn come out, get that little moment for only people like me who know and watch NXT, and then have him get eliminated. We've now seen Sami Zayn lose to John Cena in a great match, lose to John Cena, and be eliminated in the Royal Rumble. The fuck are you guys doing? This wrestler has, I think, 4, I could be wrong, 4, maybe even 5, could be even 6 by now, of your 100, your list, your top 100 matches of all time. He's in 4, if not 5, probably 6 of them at this point. And you are treating him like shit. Brock Lesnar, he comes in, he destroys the shit. He German suplexes the ring. He physically picks up the ring and just German suplexes it. Wyatt screwing Lesnar. Good. Good, good, good. Good, 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 good. Okay, A, this is probably going to lead to Braun Strowman and Lesnar, and the more important one, Wyatt and Lesnar. I really want to see a future Brock Lesnar-Bray Wyatt match. I feel like that's just money. That could be so perfect. And once again, it'll give Bray Wyatt credential, a threat again. It'll let him be a threat. You have Roman return. Okay, you marketed this Royal Rumble as one versus all. The one was supposed to be Roman Reigns. The verse was versus. Let's be fucking smart here. And then the all was supposed to be the roster. That didn't happen. Finally, number 30. Yep, I called it. Triple H. Triple H comes out at 30. Triple H and Dean are the last two. They eliminate Reigns one early. Triple H wins, obviously, throws out Dean Ambrose, and it looks like we're setting up for Reign of Terror Part 2. Please, no. I don't want to see Triple H bang another corpse. And just for shits and giggles, we got the Signs of the Night. One of them was Brock Lobster. There's just a giant Colt Cabana head. Life is a work. Philosophical dude. Joke of the day. Ascension wins. Really though, fix that. See, that's proof right there. And finally, my favorite one, it was a Horn of Light from Yu-Gi-Oh!, the spell card, and it was, I raised New Day's attack by 700. That's why they won their match. All in all, you know, I think this pay-per-view, this is what they needed, because last year, we started really badly, and we ended really badly, and there was maybe one or two pay-per-views that were, you know what, that was an acceptable pay-per-view. We've already blown that out of the water. This pay-per-view was honestly better than any singular pay-per-view from last year. I really liked this pay-per-view. I know I mentioned a lot of negatives, that's critiquing for you. I just enjoyed it. I thought the overall matches were fine. There was no match that was absolute shit. The closest thing coming to it was probably Kalisto and Alberto Del Rio. It was pre-show, which is a pre-show, so it is what it is. You're not going to get something phenomenal on that, unless Cesaro's on it, in which case, you're always getting a phenomenal match. Yeah, the pre-show, you got the Intercontinental title Last Man Standing match, which I thought was match of the night. You got New Day versus Usos for the tag team titles, which I thought was okay. You have Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto, which was also okay. You have Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, which was good. And then you have the Royal Rumble match itself, which it actually seems like they put time into it this year. Do not slack off. You can do much better than this pay-per-view. Comparatively, this is like a 9 out of 10. Comparatively. You are the biggest promotion. I think it's time you start acting like it. I'm proud of the first step. I like the first step. Don't stop walking. We're going to do this bi-weekly. Not next week, but I'll see you the week after that. I'll probably be doing Lucha Underground.
Lucha! Lucha! Lucha!